The reason that some of the reasons that you might begin to feel discomfort after an awakening, at first, it's fantastic. It's, oh my God, there's this epiphany. This is who I am. This is who I am. This is who I've been all along. I'm not this physical body. I'm not this brain. I'm not only this brain. I am actually a spiritual being, a beautiful being of light, a powerful God source energy, that I am strong, I'm powerful, I'm eternal. Oh my gosh, I've been completely ignoring my entire true essence my whole life. This is fantastic. It's fabulous. And you start eating it up. You start gobbling up all this information, and it's fantastic. And it is. I mean, it is. It truly, truly is. But there will come a point where if you are making all of this radical change, your body is going to begin to shriek a little bit. And that's what was happening to me. So the day I made that video in the park, I was supposed to be at work and I blew it off because I just had to be near the water. I had to be in nature where everything was alive, where I felt alive. My body was beginning to vibrate and it was beginning to feel alive again. And it was vibrating at a completely different frequency. I think that's part of it. So there you go. Learn as we go, right? Learn as we grow. And your body is beginning to vibrate at a completely different frequency, and there are some other things, and I'm just going to go through these notes with you. I apologize for the glare on my glasses until I can figure out how to make it stop. It drives me crazy, but just please try to ignore it, and I'll try to do the same. I found this information, and this gentleman says the spiritual awakening is an intense experience of personal and spiritual, I'm adding, transformation. When you have such a radical awareness, understanding, acknowledgement, awakening about the way that you have always lived for your entire life is actually maybe not really true, that maybe none of it is actually true. Wow, that's not a light thing. That's not a small thing. That's a huge transformation. And your brain, your mind, your body is going to probably fight you. And here it is. It's an intense spiritual and personal and spiritual awakening. It's a process of transforming, here it is, boom, from mind consciousness to being consciousness. You're transferring, you're making a huge radical change in your body. You're learning that you are a spirit being, you are a beautiful and powerful, eternal being of light. Not this mind and body. This mind and body was only temporary. It was wonderful. It's for learning. But it's limited. We live right now on the earth. We live in limit, in limitedness. But when you find out that you're actually a beautiful, powerful, eternal being of light, that is actually first and foremost a spiritual being having a human experience here on the earth, you're gonna change. Things are gonna change, and that is what's happening in you. If you're experiencing discomfort, some people call it a dark night of the soul. It is freaky. It's freaky because you are making that transformation from mind consciousness and focusing only on the mind and only what the mind can see, hear, smell, taste, touch, into that being consciousness where you're beginning to acclimate, reacclimate, and begin to learn from, attune to, pay attention to your being instead of your mind and body so much. And it is a huge change. So that is what's happening. So, and then basically he says that the spiritual awakening is the process of rebirth, right? The rebirth of everything that you truly are, everything that you truly, truly are. And it's also at the same time when you feel that process of darkness and discomfort and not knowing exactly what you want anymore and how you're supposed to be feeling and how you're supposed to be acting. That dark night period is the process of the dying, the death, the dying to the self that you have known all this time, that actually was only a temporary self. So that's what's happening. But despite how much suffering the dying mind, the dying mind's conditioning can cause you, deep down in your soul, you know that you're not crazy. You know that this is happening. It's real and it has to happen. You know that you're not just imagining things. This is a real damn thing and it's happening, and it can be pretty intense. It can be actually very intense. You are evolving, and the process of awakening is deepening in you. If you are experiencing that dark period or a discomfort and uncomfortableness in your body, you're experiencing a sense of being lost. You're feeling a sense of being lost. And that's exactly how I was feeling on the park bench. And you can see it. If you want to go back, I suggest that you go back and you look at that first video. I actually haven't posted it yet, but I am going to, I think I'm going to go ahead and do them as part 1 and part 2 so that you can see them together. And I haven't named it. I'm sure I'll name it something like feeling uncomfortable after awakening, or something like that. But I'll try to link them together as part 1 and part 2. But please do go back and look at that. It will keep everything in context. And if you're experiencing this, it helps to see other people going through it too. I've actually looked around for these kinds of videos. There really aren't that many out there, frankly. Oddly. So that's why I'm making this video, is to help you gain some further understanding if you're feeling a lot of discomfort after a spiritual awakening. So you're evolving and you're in the process. You're smack dab in the process of going from mind consciousness to being consciousness. And that is a huge, huge radical change. So you're feeling a sense of being lost, and your heart is full of anxiety. It's yikes! You are in completely new territory here. You are swimming in unfamiliar waters, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. You just have to go with it. I mean, it's an adventure. Go with it. Get on it. Be on it. It doesn't have to freak you out to the point of, to extremes, but it is uncomfortable. You are out of your comfort zone for sure. So that's what's happening. The world that you have known and all of its conditioning is coming to an end. It's coming to an end. Your whole life has changed, and you can't go back. And right now, if you're in this phase, you probably are feeling what I felt. And you're like, a part of you wants to turn back around and run back, because that's the way the body is designed. That's the way the mind is designed. It's to keep you in sameness, because sameness equals safety. Safeness. Sameness equals safeness. And your body and your mind and all the chemicals in it have these old prehistoric systems in it to keep you always safe. And so you're going to feel like, I don't think I want to know all this. I know I'm tough. I'm a tough guy, and I'm strong and all, but I think can I just go back? Can I go back and forget that I know anything that I know here? You can't go back. So relax, breathe, take some deep breaths. It's okay. It's part of the process, and it's part of the dying and the rebirth process. Again, you're going from the life that you have always lived in, all of your conditioning and all of your unconscious habit patterns and conditioning that you don't even know are there, frankly, unless you've been really digging into this work for a long time. So just relax. It's okay. You're going to come through the other side, and you're going to be a completely different person. You're going to be a better person. Let me finish this, and then I'll wrap it up here, and I'll tell you some things that are going to make you feel better about what you're going through. Okay, you're not alone. It's okay. A lot of us are going through the same thing. So Your heart is full of anxiety because the world as you know it and all of its conditioning and all of the habits that you have are coming to an end. And so this is because after a spiritual awakening, your conditioned mind and all of your conditioned mind, not your mind, but your mind patterns are dying. They're going away. You're replacing them with something greater. You've been actually taken over for most of your life with incessant thought and incessant currents of thought that you basically don't even know you're in. And that's the past and always the past and always the future. But never, 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 rarely ever are you in this moment, the present moment where life is actually happening. The only place that life is actually happening is this moment. Isn't it amazing? I'm getting ready to do a summary video of of what presence is and the power of now, and to try to break that down a little bit so that you can understand it. That may be one of the most important videos I ever do, because the truth of the matter is that no matter what rabbit hole these spiritual growth videos take you down, and no matter what spiritual guru you're listening to, it'll always come back to this. No matter what cool thing you learn about yourself, no matter what nasty little secrets that you uncover in your patterns and your shadow beliefs and all that, it's always going to come back to this, and that is living in the now, living in the moment. And it takes practice, and if you can master that, you're going to be just fine. So don't panic, don't freak out. God's got you. And there's some of us out here who've got your back as well. We're right there with you. So let me finish this real quick. So your conditioned mind patterns are dying. You're giving them over. And it's time, because they've been controlling you. That's why you're unhappy, mostly. So while dying, your mind is holding on. It's going to flail. It's going to try to hold on to control because it wants to live. It wants to stay in control. It wants the con. It wants to keep the con. It wants the control. So, and what the hell good has it done for you so far? Seriously. No, 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 no. It's time. It's time to wake up. It's time to know who you truly are, why you're truly here, and what your purpose is, and what your assignment is here, and to get busy. Get busy. I mean, life, she is ticking away. This life. So your mind is going to try really, really hard to fight you. It's going to make you feel miserable, because it's going to continually, while you're trying to go this way into the light, into this elevated life and this elevated understanding and knowledge, your brain is going to keep trying to pull you back into the muck that you've been living in, and that same mundane and mindless, frankly, unconscious patterns that you've been living forever. And it wants to stay in control. It wants to keep you there. It has your thermostat at the same number, and it wants to take you back there. And in that low vibrational living, it's time. And so you have to understand there's going to be discomfort, because it's kind of a fight. It's a fight. Who's going to win? Your habits that your body has memorized over all these years, and it does it mindlessly, even without you. Your body does this shit without you. So are you going to let that continue, or are you going to take control of your body and your mind and your destiny? And are you going to just do a little work? Roll up your sleeves. Roll up your spiritual sleeves, my friends. It's time. So it is going to fight you, and it's going to try to everything it can to re-identify at every turn with its old dysfunctional patterns. Yeah. So you're gonna have a bit of a fight on your hands. The good thing is that a true new habit only takes 90 days. If you really care about this, and you really want to see change in your life, and you really don't want to do what you're doing anymore, it's not really that hard. It's truly just making some habitual changes. So we'll get into that in some videos to follow. We're going to be getting into a lot of detail. We're going to be delving into this. So, but in the meantime, back to why you're feeling discomfort. This is why. So you're experiencing a dying of the patterns that you have been your entire life mindlessly, and a rebirth of what you are and who you are spiritually as a beautiful, fierce, powerful, eternal, lovely, loving, power-packed pod in this body of talent, fierceness, uniqueness, intelligence, creativity, humor, your beautiful laughter, ability to connect, ability to build, all of these beautiful, beautiful, powerful things that we are. And we've been living so small, so small, ignoring for most of our lives truly how big we really are, how beautiful we really are, how powerful we really are. What a beautiful gift to know that this is who we are, and to know that we're here for purpose. And we are a huge part of that purpose. While we've been sleepwalking, trying to just get stuff. I mean, wow. Talk about living small. Anyway, let me wrap this up. So it's the dying of everything you are not while your ego is dying. And if you don't know what I mean by ego, that there is an ego part of you, of your mind, and a more spiritual being part of you, then that's what we're going to be going over in the next video that I plan to post is understanding the mind, how it has been keeping you in the dark, how it has been keeping you distracted in the past and in the future, while robbing you, literally, of the most valuable thing that life is, and that is the moment that you're in, the moment you're living. Now, here, now, right now, the power of now. This is where life is. This is where life is happening right now. Me talking to you, and that's just over. What I just said, me talking to you, and now it's gone. This is the moment that you live in. This is where life is happening. But yet your mind has very stealthily kept you in this incessant flow of thought in your past, thinking about the past, thinking what happened yesterday, thinking why did this happen to me over and over and over and over again, or thinking about the future. What am I going to do about the future? What's going to happen if I can't? What's going to happen if I can't fill in the blank? What's going to happen to me if I can't fill in the blank? But never, or very, very rarely are we actually in our bodies, in the moment, in our skin, enjoying just being. That's what we're gonna talk about next. That's gonna be my next video. It's probably gonna be a 2-part. I really want to break this down for you, because while it is pretty simple, after you finally get it, you go, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. But while it is pretty simple on one hand, paradoxically, it's kind of complicated. And so anyway, we'll get into that later, but right now I want to finish this. And so the spiritual awakening is a mind destructive process. It is a mind destructive process. So, you know, yeah, knowing that, I guess, helps, because you think that you're just gonna, you know, see butterflies and rainbows and birdies and, you know, all of that stuff. And it is a lot of that, but there's also some negative things that you're gonna have to let go. They don't tend to fit together in the same body. So it's a mind destructive process, and it's not necessarily always pleasant, and it can last anywhere from weeks, months, or years. So just keep moving through the process. Just keep moving through it. Let's see. Let me just check my notes here real quick. Okay. So here's something I wanted to kind of read to you. So earlier when I said the moment that I was sitting out on that park bench and I was, wigging a little bit about not wanting to go to work and not being able to stay in my skin in that office and all of that. My first thought was, oh my gosh, can I just go back? Can I for a second? That's what I thought. I thought, oh my gosh, can I just go back? So in the interest of full disclosure, and I'm always going to be completely open. I promised that to myself when I started this channel, that I'm going to be open and I'm going to always be honest. In fact, I have always followed that rule in singing and performing and in coaching, vocal coaching. I always tell all my students, and I always did it, and I still do it today when I perform, and that is always be authentic on the stage and always be vulnerable. Always tell the truth. Always show what you're feeling. Don't hide anything. No acting. So what I mean by that is if I'm singing and I get emotional and I feel something and I feel a tear, I let it roll. As long as it's genuine and as long as I'm really feeling it and I mean it, they will feel it. They will appreciate it. And that is authenticity. And that's the way I've always performed. If I'm rocking the house and I'm feeling myself and I'm dropping it, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to give it my all. I always leave every single thing on the stage. And so when I started this channel, I promised myself I would do the same exact thing with you always, always, always. And that's what I'm going to do right here. So just for fun, I just wanted to share this note with you that I wrote right after I had this experience. I wrote this in my notes. So verbatim, this is my note in my journal, one of my many journals. When I think of becoming a full-time counselor or coach, doing this work, this spiritual healing, this spiritual and emotional healing work, my first thought is, why in hell would I purposely do this to people? That's hilarious. Okay. I will be thrusting them into the same panic, awareness, and confusion and doubt that I'm going through right now. Why would I do that? But then I remember what led me here in the first place. The pain, the searching for answers and peace, the longing to be in the flow of my life, to be on the right, correct path, and to fulfill my life's calling before I leave this earth. That pull, once it starts, cannot be stopped. Can't go back. I mean, I guess you can, but I may as well be here to help them once they get started, right? I might as well be here to help. And so besides, which is better and which is worse, to go through the schizo process I'm going through now, or to still be lost, blind, and wasting precious time in life, existing in this life with the veil still on? Which one's worse?